What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm your humble host, Picaso. Thanks for joining in. Today, guys, it is Inspirational Sundays. I know I missed the episode last week. No excuses. I should have made time to take care of it and do it, and I really apologize. And yeah, let's continue.
I'm searching for some sunshine.
So guys, for today I want to share with you guys something that has happened to me personally. Of course, you know, most of these things that I share with you guys, they're definitely personal matters that really and truly did happen. And yeah, so you guys know that I'm married to a lovely young lady. She is Tanisha Sterling, of course, my lovely wife. And we have three beautiful children. Okay, we have Princess Priscilla, and then we have Prince Paul, and then the third, which is Prince Israel. Okay, I know the names. I know you guys are all saying, "Oh, look at the royalty." Anyways, so before Prince Israel was born, this was actually just after Prince Paul was born, or Paul, or Junior. We just call him Junior. So before Junior was born, this was about October. The exact date actually was October 6th. It was a Saturday, and it was 2012. And me, my wife Tanisha, my daughter Princess, she was 2 years old at the time, and our son Junior, Prince Paul, he was 2 months old at the time. Okay, so we were going on a little trip, and we were traveling with my wife's brother, my brother-in-law. We were going on a trip from Ontario, Canada, where we live, and we were going to New York to visit and spend a little time with my wife's mom. Okay, and yeah, so you know, it was all good. We got on the bus, and we were, you know, driving, and yeah, it was cool. You know, sometimes, I mean, it's the first time I've ever been on one of those big tour buses like that, and surprisingly to me, there was no seatbelts on that bus, which is something that still bothers me right now. Even on public transit now, which I have to take to work because my car needs some work done, there's no seatbelts on it, and it's perfectly fine. The only person who has a seatbelt is the driver of the public transit buses, and they don't even wear it all the time. But the passengers, we don't wear seatbelts, and it's fine. But if you're driving in your car, you have to wear a seatbelt, including the passengers. So it's just very strange to me. But anyways, that's besides the point. So we're driving on the bus. Of course, we're making a couple of stops. The driver was kind of in a rush. I think he was like a little behind schedule or something like that. So he was definitely in a rush. But anyway, we left Canada. We entered the States, you know, past the border check and all that stuff. And we're in New Jersey now. So we're driving through New Jersey, and so I'm gonna go through exactly what happened. So I'm sitting at the aisle seat. Okay, so of course it's a bus, so there's the windows, of course, on the bus. Then there's the window seat, then the inner seat, and then there's the walkway down the middle of the bus, right? So I think my brother-in-law was sitting behind me, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so he was sitting behind me. So I was sitting in the aisle seat, holding my daughter Princess. She was sitting in my lap, and my hands were around her like this, right? And my wife was sitting beside me at the window seat, and she was holding our 2-month-old in her hand like this. My brother-in-law was behind me. So I think I took a quick nap. I woke up, right? I put down Princess in the seat, got up, and I walked up and down the aisle, just stretching my legs because we've been sitting for like hours, right? And then I went back, I got up, picked her up again, sat back down, put my arms around Princess like this once again, and then I started to doze off again. So my head was down like this, okay, and I started dozing off. And then all of a sudden, I just felt like a little brrr, like the bus was rumbling. So when I felt that, I lifted up my head, I looked over to my wife, and the last thing I remember at that point was literally, and I'm still holding Princess, but the last thing I remember is literally, it's almost like somebody grabbed me and pulled me this way. So there's an armrest here, okay? There's an armrest right here and an armrest right here. My wife's here, and I'm holding Princess. She's holding our son, Junior, 2-month-old. I'm holding Princess, 2 years old. And I'm just sitting down, the boom, boom, the bus is rumbling. I lift up my head and I'm looking, I'm like, what's going on? I look over to my wife, and then it's like somebody grabbed me and pulled me. And I mean pulled so hard that I broke the armrest, okay, with my side or back. I don't remember which one it is. Pulled me like this, flew, and then after that, I don't know what happened until I came to. When I came to, there were people everywhere. Keep in mind, I was holding my daughter. I was still holding her when I came to, or I don't know if I was knocked out or blacked out, or I don't know what happened, but it's like the last thing I remember was being pulled. Then the next thing I remember was lifting up my head, still holding Princess. She was crying. She was covered in blood, was all over her face. There was blood everywhere. There was people were screaming, like there was glass everywhere. People were just on top of people. Like, it was ridiculous. I looked at Princess and she was crying, and my mind was just like, I was like, holy crap, like what just happened? You know what I mean? And it took me like a second. And as soon as it came in my mind, I was like, holy crap, Tanisha and Junior. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was already just ready to just give up on life. I know that I had Princess. She was okay. She was crying, so I know that she was at least, she was vocal. So, and I was still holding on to her, and I managed to get up, and it was like Junior, 2-month-old. I still didn't know what was going on. When I looked up, I could see like the seats were, and the seat was the seats that I was sitting in, where people on the right side of the bus were sitting in. That was now the ceiling. So the bus literally, whatever happened, it ended up on the side, on its left side. And all I could think about was, oh my God, Junior's dead. That's all I could think. Junior was dead. He was 2 months old. There's no seatbelts. He wasn't in the car seat or nothing. And that's all I could think. So I stood up, I had Princess. I was taking my time not to step on people and stuff like that, but all I could do was yell out for my wife. And her name's Tanisha, so I call her Tin for short, or Tintin, and yeah, it was really scary, man. It was really scary. And so I'm walking down, and I'm just taking my time, and I'm stepping over, and I'm just yelling out, Tin! Tin! 10, because there's a lot of people screaming and crying, and it's 10. And finally all I heard was, I'm up here. And when I looked up, she was the only person in the entire bus that did not fall or get tossed. Like, I don't know what she was holding on to, okay, but she had Junior in her hand like this, my 2-month-old son. She was holding him. He was crying, and she was literally like this. I'm up here. And I was like, Junior, is he okay? Junior. She's like, he's okay. So get me down. She wasn't standing on anything, okay? She was holding on to just a little bit. Just here, she was just barely holding on to something like this. Everybody else in the bus was tossed around, flipped around, and she was the only person holding Junior like this, okay? I've never ever been in an accident before. That was the first time ever I was ever in an accident. And I mean, the first thing, that 1 second that when it came into my brain, it came into my head, and I was like, Junior's 2 months old. Tanisha's holding him. There's no car seats. There's no seat belts. Junior's dead. God, I can't believe this happened. But you know what? God saved us, man. Nobody in that bus died. Okay? So there was another lady that was sitting, I want to say, in the same row as my brother-in-law, but on the other side, the left side of the bus. She probably got it the worst, because I don't even know if I can explain it properly. So her head basically went through the bus window, and it was underneath the divider where the windows hold. It's very let me see if I can explain it. Okay, so you have, I'm trying. So here's the bus window, All right, this is what this is the bus window right here. This is the window. This is what separates this window from the other window. Okay, I think that's the best way to put it. So this is that divider there. So there's a window here, there's a seat, there's the divider, then there's a window here, and then there's a seat. Her head was outside of the bus underneath this part. Okay, so remember, the bus was on its side now. Okay, so the bus is on its side and her head was under this part. Okay, I don't know how she was breathing, but she was clearly panicking, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen a chicken when its head gets cut off and the body's just doing that. That's what her arms and her legs were just kicking. And this one guy, he was literally saying, "Hey, we gotta get her out. Let's pull her." And I've seen on TV shows, and I gotta say, it's only TV shows, because that came to my mind, because I wouldn't have had any clue. I would have probably been like, yeah, let's pull her out. But I've seen TV shows, and a lot of them say when it's something like that, leave them alone. Don't try to do it yourself. You're not a professional. You don't know what to do. You might make the situation worse. So he was holding on her hand, and I told him, let go. I held her hand and I yelled. I crouched down and I was yelling to her. I'm like, "If you can hear me, squeeze my hand." She squeezed my hand. I'm like, okay. I said, "Can you breathe? If you can breathe, squeeze my hand." She squeezed my hand. So I said, okay, she can breathe. We gotta leave, because remember, like, it's on her head. So her head is underneath and her body is out. So her head is underneath. And the thing is, the bus, it came off of the road. So it's not like gravel and asphalt or just cement or whatever, tar, whatever they put on the roads. It fell onto like a grassy place, and it rained the morning. Okay, so like it was kind of muddy, I want to say. So I don't know how she was breathing. I don't know if she was running out of breath, but she could breathe at the time. And that's it. The paramedics ended up coming, but before that, this gentleman, he got up. He's the one that actually helped take down my wife from hanging up there. He helped me to take her down. And what he did, he flew open the emergency hatch on the bus, and he first of all, he was helping people out of the bus. And when he helped most of the people out, and I think it was just certain people that were kind of stuck, like that lady I was telling you guys about, he ran. He was running, and he was just running up the road trying to stop cars to get help and stuff like that. And then finally paramedics came, fire department came, police came, other people stopped and they were coming and for help and stuff like that. And obviously news came, and so a bunch of different news channels came and stuff like that. And as soon as this guy stopped moving, he fell, because I think his whole like leg or something was shattered or some crap like that. But it's just that adrenaline rush at that time. He was fine. He was just running up and just helping people out and doing this and moving and doing that. And as soon as he stopped, like, he just dropped, man, because something was wrong. I think like he shattered his knee or something. His leg was shattered, or his foot, something like that was shattered. It was just a very, very scary time, guys. It was a scary time, and I'm telling you, it was God alone that saved us. There's no way. Come on, I flew with Princess. If Tanisha had flown or just left her area, because she was still basically right where her seat was. So I think that little thing that where the window sits in, I think when it happened, she didn't even think. Her motherly instincts that just God just said, "Hey, put up your hand and hold on tight." And that's what she didn't even know what she did. She was just hanging up there. She don't know how she got up there. She doesn't know what she held on to. It was only God, man. I mean, for me personally, it's my trust and my faith in God that saved us and saved everybody. Nobody on the bus died. People were injured. We were injured again. I have lower back issues. My whole left side of my body is kind of messed up. You know, that's the I gotta be wearing this. There's a video coming out on this soon on the channel, which now hearing the story, you'll understand why I have this now. And it's rough, guys. I don't wish anything bad on anybody, but an accident is just definitely, you just don't want that to happen. And I definitely don't wish an accident to happen on anybody. Like, it's ridiculous, man. So I'm just gonna read something here. So I'm just going to read a verse, guys. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9. So it says, but we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in God, which raiseth the dead. Okay. Another one, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 10. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living God, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe. And I believe, guys, again, these are just my views. I'm not putting anything on nobody. I'm sharing with you my real life stories, okay? And I'm sharing with you my belief. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, the things that I personally have been through, and I mean, and again, everybody in the world goes through things. They go through different things. I can only speak about my experiences, and I know for a fact God is real, guys. I've seen it's hard to explain, man. It's hard to explain, but I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm growing more in my walk with God, and yeah, I'm not where I need to be yet, but I will be. And that's gonna wrap up Inspirational Sundays today, guys. My words of encouragement is just, you know what? Trust in God. Okay? If you're a believer, believe in God. Put your trust in Him. Don't trust men. Okay? We're just fleshy little things here. You know what I mean? God is everlasting. He's forever. Trust in God. That's what we need to do. Trust in God with all of our being. Trust in God. I don't trust in myself, because I've trusted myself many times before, and I failed many times. I've fallen into temptations that have put me in a lot of trouble in the past, and I'm doing much better now. You know, certain temptations that I've fallen to in the past, there's no way I'm falling to them again. Why? Because I have grown. Okay? Because of my faith in God and believing in God and His works and what He will do, you know, and what He will allow for me to, because you know that saying, when one door closes, another one opens. Like, that is deep in my bones. Okay, there's a situation that came up very recently, where a door closed, and I was getting a little bit worried. And I was trying some things for myself. Like, I was trying some things, you know. I'm like, you know what, let me try this, see if this works out. Let me try that, let me see. None of them worked out. And I just stopped and I said, God, I leave it to you. This is what I need, but I am going to accept this is what I want, but I'm going to accept whatever you give me, because God doesn't give you what you want, He gives you what you need. So I trust God. I trust in God, man. Trust in God. That's all you can do. If you do, again, when those doors close, don't even be worried about it. Don't even be worried about it, because God's going to let the right door open. He's going to lead you to that door, let the right one open. And He protects my life. He protects me and my children. He protects my wife. He protects my family. Like, I'm a warrior. I worry. You know what I mean? When I'm at work, I think about my kids at their school, and my wife with my 2-year-old son now, Prince Israel. I worry a little bit when I'm on my breaks or whatever, and I take my phone and I send a text, and I'm like, hey, how are you guys doing? You guys okay? You know, and I don't get back a message in like 10 minutes. I start to worry, but I'm learning a little bit better that I really do need to trust in God. And I do, and I've stopped worrying that, you know, as much as I used to. And I know that I'm gonna get to that point where it's like, I'm not gonna be worried. I'm still gonna be checking up, of course, and if I don't get a message, I know that, you know, my wife's probably busy, she's cooking, or she's just taking care of my son, they're out, whatever the case may be. And I'm not gonna be worried, because I know that God is protecting them, just like how He protected us in that bus. Like, it could have been so much worse. People could have died. There were other children on the bus. Luckily, they're all safe. You know, everybody was scratched up and bruised. People had broken bones, stuff like that. That one lady was on a stretcher. Like me, my left knee is completely messed up. Shoulders messed up. I got issues here. That's why I have the shoulder brace that I got yesterday. Actually, I ordered it and it arrived yesterday. But God saved us, and it's because we trust in Him and we love Him. So, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. As always, I'm your humble host, Picasso. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you in the next one, guys. The next episode of Inspirational Sundays. Until then, trust in God. Peace. I'm out.